Whatever happens, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Philippians 1:27. I lost my job in June 2013. It was the third time in my career that had happened. Losing your job rarely seems like a good thing, but it can be an opportunity for reflection and growth. The first two times I lost a job, I was not particularly upset. I always seemed to land on my feet in a better situation than the one I had left. But this time, I was 55 years old with two children, the first of whom was about to start college, with the second 2 years behind her in school. You may have heard that looking for a job is a full-time job. It is, and it brings a lot of uncertainty. How, where, when, how much. But I seemed to have an inexplicable peace during this time. I began to look at the situation and everything that was happening with an attitude of, okay, God, what do you want me to learn this time? Throughout the next several months, I clearly saw God's provision time and time again. My daughter, who was about to start college that fall, landed a full tuition scholarship. We would still have to pay room and board and some other expenses, but the scholarship was a huge blessing. As a family, we had planned to go on a youth mission trip to Appalachia that summer. Could I afford to be away from my job search for a week? This was never a real concern. I was certain I wanted to go on that mission trip. These trips always brought many blessings. The most memorable of this trip was my daughter's God moment in front of a group of 70 or 80 people on Friday evening. She told how the family that she was serving had heard that her father had just lost his job. The mother of the family immediately wanted to pray for my daughter and our family. It brought tears to my eyes to hear this story about how these folks in West Virginia, who had so little, could be so caring and loving towards strangers. 6 months after the layoff, I started a new job with a better company at my same salary and about the same commute. This job turned out to be a tremendous blessing. I stayed with this company for 10 years until my retirement last year. I was able to work remotely for 3 years after moving from Connecticut to Tennessee. I had a number of great bosses who seemed to appreciate the work that I did and taught me a lot. And this company paid me very well, which helped me to save for my eventual retirement. One of the benefits that the company offered was 8 hours of paid volunteer work each year. I always took advantage of this benefit, and I often shared my volunteer experiences with my coworkers out of gratitude and in hopes of encouraging them to volunteer as well. Around the time I started to write this testimony, I began to listen to a daily devotional by John Ortberg based on Paul's letter to the Philippians. John spoke about how to pray when you feel anxious. Observing that Philippians 4, 6, and 7 invites us to bring our concerns to God, not to control outcomes, but to open our hearts. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. John shared an 80-20 approach to prayer from Johnny Erickson Tata that I really like. Spend 20% of my time praying about changing the situation. Spend 80% praying about how my heart needs to grow. What does God want to teach me through this situation? What I can learn about Jesus, and how God might be calling me to be a different person. So in closing, I'll leave you with the thought that true peace does not come from fixing every circumstance, but from the peace of God guarding the heart that lets go.